I think we're live. Hello and welcome back to the Manc Entrepreneur YouTube channel. And in today's episode, I'm once again joined by Matt, and he's going to share with you how you can get great looking eBay listings that are now eBay active content compliant, utilizing WidgetChimp. So Matt, welcome. Firstly, it's good to have you back as always.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that.
And yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, eBay announced that they were bringing in their active content policy. And I covered it in a video. It'll be up on this side, I think, at the top, little pop-up box, and where you can find out everything there is to know about the active content policy there. Now, Matt, if you want to very quickly give us a brief rundown, a summary of what that content policy, the active content policy, means.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just start with the basics. I am referring to a screen on my right-hand side, so apologies for not looking straight at you. So this is eBay's explanation, and I feel it's a great place for us to start from. So this is pretty much word for word from eBay, which is active content such as JavaScript and Flash hinders mobile purchases, and it creates longer load times and increases security vulnerabilities. The last one's a bit of a wash, but we'll ignore that one. The big one really is mobile purchases, because mobile is absolutely huge on eBay, and something which they've done a really good job about shouting about, and we've only ever seen it increase over the last couple of years. It's some crazy figure now.
The last numbers I saw, they were saying that over 50% of all transactions are at least touched by mobile at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. So mobile is a big thing, and just to reiterate, JavaScript and Flash can slow down your customers viewing your listings from a mobile device, which is absolutely bang on, and they've chucked in security vulnerabilities as a part of that one. And they've put a deadline on this for June 2017. So June this year. We are recording this on the 11th of April 2017, just to put it into context for you. And yeah, the big one really is speed, because on a mobile phone, let's think about this for a few moments, is that you're most likely using 3G if you're lucky, 4G if you're really lucky, more likely snail pace on a mobile phone. So speed really is important. It's a fact which has been proven over and over and over and over again. That's why Google really does fret about milliseconds for pages load. It's why Amazon also frets a lot about page load times. Again, they got into the business of AWS because it's a platform which they use for their own business to be able to deliver content fast to their customers. Now, we've gone slightly off topic here, but mobile is a big thing, and in short, JavaScript and Flash is going. Now, to be frankly, and also to be brutally honest, goodbye Flash. In short, very frustrating technology, has been riddled with security issues for many, many moons. Just type in Flash vulnerability in the old Googler, and you'll see what you mean. There has been a riddle, just overwhelming amount of issues in the past. JavaScript, not so much. Now, you may be wondering what JavaScript is. In short, you're using JavaScript right now, whether you know that you're using it or not. Pretty much every single website uses JavaScript of some shape or form. It's a fantastic language. It's a language which is run, ironically, can be run both in your web browser, it can be run on your mobile phone, and it can also be used as a server-side language as well, maybe something like Node.js as well. But unfortunately, there is the 0.00001% which will abuse vulnerabilities or in browsers and things like that. And you can do some very cool stuff in JavaScript, I hasten to add. But anyway, eBay have dug their heels in and said no JavaScript, Flash, plugins, or something else, which I forget off the top of my head. And what does that mean for you, in short, for eBay? Which is basically you need to remove anything which they now don't allow as soon as possible, because they are going to be notifying you and stopping you from revising eBay listings very shortly. In short, in fact, they've stopped to a large amount, to a degree already. as well. And I'm sure, yes, if you're an eBay seller, you've already been received emails from eBay. If you've maybe got, say, an Optivia gallery in there, or another Flash object in there in your listing, you are going to need to remove them very, very shortly. And again, if you don't remove them, then eBay are physically going to go and remove them from or stop them showing from your listings very, very shortly. Remember, the deadline here is June 2017. So maybe that's a little bit of the background there, Dave.
Absolutely, that's a great basis on which we can carry on this chat. So for the more astute among us, you can see that behind me on the board. Matt, what is WidgetChimp? Okay,
so WidgetChimp, I'd like to start from the beginning because maybe you're an entrepreneur and you'd like just to know the history behind it. But basically, it's a collection of tools which have been developed over 4 to 5 years now. The main one is to do with responsive eBay listing templates. But I'd like to just share the very simple story on how it started, which was I was sat in a meeting with Tesco's in there, and they showed me this little pretty picture of what they would like to do in one of their listings, and it was just to show some feedback in the listings. And I was just one moment, I got the iPad out and showed them a little screenshot of something which I'd actually coded up a couple of months beforehand. And he said, "Oh, you mean like that?" And they said, "Yeah, just like that." I was like, "Ooh." I kind of wrote that a couple of months back, but it was a bit modest not to show the outside world, and they wanted it, and I spoke to a couple of other sellers and they wanted it as well, and that's kind of where it went. And then 2 years ago, maybe more now, we had the first responsive template builder go out. So that was it's an eBay listing template which presents your eBay listing details, so the details about your product, so your title, your images, your description, and then the periphery information like your payment terms, for example, your returns policy, your eBay store categories, your whatever, maybe you want a daily deal widget or something like that. It allows you to remote control your listings to change the way they look and they feel remotely without having to rely on a third party to do that, as in having to go and change your CSS, go and change your HTML, and then go off and manually revise every single one of your listings. You can literally, just like a remote control on your TV, you can change the look and the feel of your template remotely. So we had version 2, which was almost entirely based upon JavaScript. And as we heard a few moments ago, JavaScript is no longer going to be allowed as of June 2017. So what is WidgetChimp? WidgetChimp is now pretty much version 3, which is eBay compatible with their new active content policy. Something which took me 4 years to write and to then pretty much rewrite it in 3 weeks, and it has already been out live for quite a period of time, well, say 2 weeks or more, has done fantastically well, considering how many lines of new code was written for it. Has done fantastically well. We've had 5 minor revisions go out and just tweaking and adding features which have come in from users. So to answer your question, Dave, what is WidgetChimp? It's a remote control for your eBay listings to change the look and the feel and some of the data which is in there. So if you want to change your header message or change a banner, or maybe it's Mother's Day coming up shortly and you want to go to a pink template because you've been running a green template for Christmas, instead of having to revise with your listings individually, you can basically remote control them from a simple drag and drop editor and change the color. You choose it from a drop down box, press save, press a button called apply settings, and ta-da, all your listings have been updated. So that's what WidgetChimp is. And there's a collection of other tools thrown in as well, like bad feedback notifications, so you can act on them really quickly. But yeah, that's in summary, that's what WidgetChimp does. Does that make sense, Dave?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm in awe of WidgetChimp purely because of all the cool things it does and how certainly to my knowledge, and I'm guessing to yours as well, Matt, like I said, WidgetChimp version 2 was around for at least 4, maybe 5 years.
Oh, it was unbelievable. The stuff which we could do in version 2 was unreal. And again, I want to be fair to you as well, is that I was kind of a bit put, like, on one hand, really quite annoyed with the updates because we couldn't use JavaScript anymore, and then we were going to remove a load of features because of this to get into version 3. But actually, on the flip side, it's probably one of the best things that eBay has done in quite a long period of time. And the reason for that all boils down to speed. Version 3 has forced us to work in a different way. And if I said that it was 60 to 70 times faster, I would probably be lying to you. We are talking like milliseconds for the template to be delivered to a customer now. So that big emphasis on mobile is huge, and it is just ridiculously fast. There's small little gains which we can have now into the future, but for all intents and purposes, 283 milliseconds to load your template into an eBay listing is a crazy speed. And by the way, that's 0.3 of a second to load, because we do use a global content delivery network, which is a posh word for having servers all around the world to make it really fast for your customers. So yeah, Dave, you were saying you were in awe. Yeah, so am I. And it's come a long way.
The thing which it spoke to the genius of WidgetChimp in that I've never seen anyone else do what WidgetChimp does since it's been created. I've never seen anyone else have the ability to remote control so many listings from sort of off of eBay, really.
Yeah, we are in the realms of millions. Millions. And for part this version 3 update, we've been downloading sellers' eBay listings, and we are in the realms of millions, which has been a fantastic challenge to cope with here. It's just unreal, and nothing's really touched it or come anywhere near it since its first incarnation into the second, and now into version 3 as well. And I tried to cram as much as I could into version 3, if that makes sense. We have a very long list of widgets of what we could have put into version, like the first release of version 3. And I got what I felt were the cool ones. If I was in, say, your shoes as an eBay seller, we got all the major ones in. There are obviously a list of other things which we would like to add, and we've just been listening to feedback, and there's some tweaks which we're putting in at the moment. Like I said, we're all minor releases at the moment. It's considering the amount of code which was written from scratch for this new version, because it literally was, for all intents and purposes, a complete rewrite of all the delivery code which went with it. I'm quite happy that with the features and functions which we've got into version 3.0, when we get to version 3.1, big emphasis is going to be more on speed as well. I need to crack that chestnut of getting below, say, about 0.25 of a second. That's a personal goal, which is ridiculously fast, I hasten to add, which is brilliant for mobile customers. And I also want to stress desktop users as well. It looks great, whether it's a big screen, maybe like what you're viewing on right now, or maybe if you've got an iPad or a mobile phone. It looks good on all platforms, which is super handy.
I think that's the cool thing, is it is a fully responsive eBay listing template. Looks good on whatever you're viewing it on, whether it be a phone or a desktop or a TV, even if you're one of those weird people who wants to shop on the TV. So with that said, Matt, you've been and rewritten WidgetChimp from the ground up without using JavaScript or any of the active content stuff. So WidgetChimp is now fully compliant with all of eBay's new active content policies. Yep. And this week you just launched it back out to the public, didn't you? So after you sort of released version 3 to the group who were already sort of using it, and did a few beta testers. As far as we know right now, version 3 is live and ready to go. Yeah,
absolutely. So there's kind of like 3 levels of development, and then you've got alpha, beta, and then public. Okay, so alpha is that when you're working with a small group of users which you know first personally. Okay, and that's what happened to all intents and purposes with version 3. The first couple of users, it kind of knew that what they were doing, etc., etc. Then we released it out to all the current users as well. So that's what you class as a beta release, where you don't really have that kind of personal one-on-one relationship with the customer. And obviously for the first new users which were actually using the templates. I made as many phone calls as possible just to find out and gather feedback from what users were thinking of version 3. And now literally today it's out in the wilds. New users have been registering, and we've just been keeping an eye on for any feedback which they've got on it. So yeah, for all intents and purposes, it's now out deployed and out in the wilderness, which is it's not scary. I've seen so much feedback, good and bad, by the way. I'm very open and honest about this, is that some software companies will say their software is flawless and things like that. And I can tell you point blank, as a business owner and a software developer, that there is always undocumented features in code. It's bound to happen, but it's very much on how you deal with them, and which is that you resolve what they are as fast as humanly possible. And that's what we've done over the last couple of weeks while it's been used in a beta fashion by literally thousands of users over an untold number of listings. Basically, the feedback has been really, really positive. There have been some bugs which have needed to be quashed. We are now at the stage where we're adding features rather than fixing unknown features, if that makes sense.
Which is a great place to be.
It's fantastic. I'm personally, I'm a very happy place right now. It's gone out. We've got my favorite widgets in there, like the daily deals widget, where you can promote a single item and call it a daily deal, or weekly or monthly deal. With categories, image gallery, all the normal stuff, you know, and the remote control to change it as you see fit.
Very cool. Very cool. So that leads me on to one of the last questions, which is obviously, since the switch from JavaScript to your new coding language, are there any negatives? Is there anything that you've not been able to replicate due to the limitations of not using JavaScript?
Yeah, unfortunately there is whereas in version 2 you could basically put anything where you wanted remotely in almost instantaneously. We don't have that kind of flexibility with version 3, so the focus really has been upon speed, ensuring speed. eBay are basically saying, look, make it run fast, and I am personally very happy that it does run fast. It did run ridiculously fast, like I said, 60 to 70% faster, and I'm probably lying to you compared to version 2. So to answer the question bluntly, yes, we are. On one hand, we are at a disadvantage because we can't use JavaScript, but on the other side, everybody else is in the same boat. You can't use JavaScript, so you're left to other means to do that. And I feel that we've done a really, really good job now adhering to eBay's active content policy. Whether we like it or not, eBay have said that's what they're doing. So we've worked within their rules, and I'm quite impressed with what's come out of it, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And is there still the question mark around video?
Yeah, still very much the open question around video. Current, and again, the only negative, really, I think obviously JavaScript's going. We get over that. There's nothing which I can do about it, nothing you can do about it. So that's like a done deal. So let's ignore that. The one negative which I can say about this whole new update is there's just been a real poor, if not unknown, implementation of when it comes to video. Yes, you can use their video tag, which is a HTML5 tag. Don't want to sound too nerdy, but in short, it doesn't really work. Because it's not supported by YouTube or Vimeo, the two big video platforms out there. So that part is a bit of a fail at the moment. Once we know more from eBay, we'll adapt to it. We'll update the templates accordingly. But right now, it is a bit of it's just an unknown. We just don't know what's happening with it. So I don't know. That's the one negative I can actually say as far as this update. Again, put JavaScript aside, put Flash aside, and things like that. The policy is happening. It's being enforced as far as June this year. But the biggest unknown is video. And let's be brutally honest here, is that YouTube and Vimeo are probably not going to take that much notice of eBay when it comes to video. They're not going to deploy some new code just for eBay, just for the eBay site. So that is the biggest unknown right now. And obviously, once we know what is allowed and the best approach, then we'll update version 3 templates to allow you to put video in your listings. But yeah, right now that is the question mark around it. It's not speed, it's not functionality. It's like, what can we do with video? Because video, as we know right now, is extremely powerful.
Absolutely. I mean, video is, we've been saying this for a while, that video in e-commerce is booming right now. It's the natural progression of things from images to video. And like I said, this isn't a negative of WidgetChimp or
yeah, it's not specific to widget. If you go off and write your own template from scratch, you're in exactly the same position. There is just no answer currently when it comes to video and eBay. Personally, I hope that they do a few things so that we are, and you are, as business owners, able to include such a powerful medium within your listings. I think it's extremely valuable. I also feel that it would be fantastic if eBay allowed the implementation within the image gallery in the top left-hand corner. That would be absolutely lethal. But we'll see. We'll see.
Absolutely. So still the question mark around video, that's not Matt's fault or WidgetChimp's fault, that's eBay's fault. And as soon as...
we're just stuck at the moment, like...
yeah, exactly. As soon as they tell you what to do,
we'll work our magic on it, you know. It's as simple as that. So once we know more, we'll get it implemented, and the team will get it implemented as fast as humanly possible. But right now it's an unknown, so we just can't answer those. Like, we don't know. Nobody knows. Well, eBay knows, and they're not sharing that. So we're kind of stuck.
I think even eBay don't know right now, but hopefully they will soon. So Matt, thank you so much. With that said, where can anyone watching this right now find out more about WidgetChimp if they're interested, if they want to make their eBay listings look great, be responsive? What do they do?
Yeah, just nip across to widgetchimp.com. There is a free trial. You can try it out for 7 days, and just as I would want to do if I was in your position. Nip in there. The top tab's called RTB free. So response. No, I actually changed the label on that. It's called the Responsive Template Builder V3. Just get in there, click Create New Template, give it a whirl. Change your colors, change your layout, and change your widgets as you see fit. Press save in the top right hand corner, press the get template button, download it, apply it, where you can do that within the tool. You can download, we've got like something like 30+ different software providers supported. So it doesn't matter if you're using M2E Pro or InkFrog or whichever one, just download it, give it a whirl. Any feedback which you've got, which is either good, bad or ugly, please do let us know. Click the help tab, create a ticket. We'd love to hear from you.
Fantastic. So Matt, thank you so much for joining me today to talk about eBay templates and getting around this new active content policy.
Yeah, Dave, I just want to stress it's more of a case of working with the active content policy. It's not kind of like working around. We have worked around a few things, I hasten to add, but it is more of a case of working with it. And we have come out as business owners much better off, frankly speaking, because listings are going to be infinitely faster than what they have ever been before. But version 3, we lost a few things, but what we've gained on the opposite side, speed is a big thing. Speed, customers on a mobile or a thingy device is a big thing. Sophie, can you just give me a moment? I'm just recording live, pop it. Thank you, honey. We're seeing the tick. Sorry, it's half term here in the United Kingdom, and my little ones are home at the moment, so apologies for that. But coming back onto the topic, speed, big thing, and I'm sure you're aware of that. Mobile devices, dodgy connections, anything to make it run faster, it's got to be happy days.
Absolutely, and I think for me it was I know this wasn't just me. There was loads of other eBay sellers as well who, as soon as they heard this news, they presumed that all templates were going to go, and they'd be stuck with like plain text, maybe with bold as like a heading, a few bullet points, and that everyone would have to do that. The beauty with WidgetChimp is that that's not the case. You can now get very good looking, you know, colors, throw in your image gallery, you know, throw in your categories, and just make that buying experience easier for your customer by putting all of your data in a very easy to see, easy to interact with place. And whilst there, it's incredibly fast as well. So it helps set you apart from your competition. Yeah, it's. I think it was that for me, which a lot of people presumed they were getting rid of all the fancy stuff in templates.
No, we haven't lost. We've lost some parts, to be fair, but what we've lost, we've gained back in that word speed. It is speed. That's the big feature. That's the big underlying factor to version 3, speed. And speed is important when it comes to your customers, whether they are on a desktop or even on mobile phone or on iPad. It is a big factor. So the faster you can get the product's information in front of your customer, the better, in short. And we've done our best. And again, like I said, very open and honest about this. There are speed improvements which we can make to version 3, which we will roll out in the next big release, which will be version 3.1, if that makes sense.
Fantastic. So Matt, thank you so much for taking time out to share with us WidgetChimp and version 3 and what you've been up to. If anyone watching this has any questions or wants to go and get hands-on with the free trial, head over to widgetchimp.com and give it a whirl.
Yeah, we'll see you there. Thank you, Dave. Really appreciate your time. And of course,
Brilliant.
your time as well, which is listening to this. And big hat tip to Dave for that. We'll see you again.
Thank you so much. So with that said, if you've liked this video, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you are new around these parts. That do try and get new content out every single weekday. And that's another story. Matt is to blame for that as well.
Yeah, sorry on that one.
So with that said, enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll catch you, as always, in the next video. Thank you for watching.